At the age of this little boy, most of us tend to complain that we don't have the latest film, the latest computer, the latest video game, the latest Mortal Kombat. And look at what this kid does. The story behind this picture is impressively instructive. Look at what this kid does. This kid, instead of complaining about not having the latest game or film, he becomes that film. He becomes the character of that film, that fighter from Mortal Kombat. Isn't that great? But wait, it's not happening with the kids alone. It's pretty much the same for us, adults. How many times do we share the picture of that victorious person on the top of the mountain? Oh, how many times do we share the picture of that person walking the fields, listening to the silence? What stops us from becoming that person, walking that field, climbing that mountain? Admiring the night sky, the shooting star. Here is a question. How many of you have ever seen a shooting star? A real one, not on screen? Hands? Quite a few. Well, you should know what you're missing if you didn't raise your hand. You know what it is, right? A shooting star. It's a miracle. It's not actually a star, it's an asteroid at its last moment of existence right before burning off from the friction in the atmosphere. A shooting star, I think, totally qualifies to be the eighth wonder of the world. I think the only reason it isn't is because it's not stationary out there. It's an occasional occurrence. It's visible every night, only for a few seconds. And it's about one of the greatest and the most mysterious things to witness on our planet. Yet so few of us get to really appreciate it. Now let us actually see how many chances in our lifetime we had to take a look at the shooting star. We are, let's assume in this audience, in average 25 years old. 25 multiplied by 365 days in a year, that's being over 9,000 nights that we lived and 9,000 chances to take a look at the shooting star. Now, how many of those 9,000 chances did we actually take? It's, like having the Sphinx and the pyramids up there every night and not checking it out. And it's okay if you think you don't have enough time, enough money, enough energy, enough stamina, or perhaps if you think you don't have these beautiful places wherever you live. It's okay. Those people, all of those people, they thought so too, until the day they made up their mind and just did it. Everything great that ever happened was considered impossible until the day it was done. And this is the meaning I put behind the little martial artist boy's picture. And speaking of martial arts, scientists on National Geographic's Fight Science program have conducted a series of studies on the mental, psychological, and physical abilities of people practicing martial arts. And the results showed that those martial arts practitioners, they usually excel and are on a higher level with their strength, health, endurance, concentration, focus, and being aware and controlling their emotions, which is better known as emotional intelligence. And this is because martial arts don't just stress on a person's physical development, but also on the spiritual side of the person. There is philosophy to them. Martial arts develop both the mind and the body hand in hand, and by that ensure personal development. But what if martial arts also help with professional development? I say they do. And from my personal 14 years experience in martial arts, I'm going to give you 5 direct and practical examples of how martial arts help me become better at my work. The first thing is the focus. You might have noticed that alongside with time management, there is this new concept of focus management, the ability to concentrate and switch it from one thing to another without losing data. And then again, Apple keeps telling us about laser focus. And in the end, simply concentrating on your current task is a skill to be exercised. So let me tell you how a martial art can help you enhance your focus. There is this exercise in karate where you have to lift your leg into a kicking position and hold it that way for about 2 minutes. If somebody's wondering whether this is easy or not, it isn't. It takes a lot of balancing skill, muscle strength, and willpower to sustain yourself in this position. But there is something else that takes: concentration. If for one split second your mind travels away and thinks about just anything else other than staying focused on this exercise, your mind goes down, your leg goes down, and you go down along with it. This series of exercises teach you how to winnow your thoughts and leave only what's most important. This is a brute force, useful, less comfortable, but most effective way to enhance one's focus. The next thing is patience. You know how long it took me to learn this kick, or this punch? I don't know. I haven't learned it yet. Whenever I think I have, my teacher will find a new mistake and tell me I need extra work. It takes time, it takes a while. Years and years and years and years of practice. And that's where you learn that patience is virtue, and combined with effort brings you to big results. Oh, and between you and me, I think all martial arts teachers are big experts of trolling their students. But at least you learn a lesson out of it. Up next, you orientate quickly. This is straightforward. In a fight, you have not a second, but a fraction of a second to react. So over time, your mind learns to make decisions quickly, and this, over years, translates into daily life. So whenever that plan suddenly changes, that coworker is suddenly sick, whenever that meeting is called off, or whenever that microphone stops working, you're able to find solutions quickly without stress, delay, or panic. And speaking of panic, it's something that you cannot afford in a fight, and therefore you go panic-free with martial arts after a while. Because that's another reason you make decisions fast, because whenever people have problem, panicking is something that takes most of their time in the decision-making process. Reminds of the nice Japanese comparison of mind and water. Both give you a clear picture when calm, but when disturbed, they give you only a distorted reflection. Just something to think about. Our next thing is resilience. You get to have high physical endurance. You expire late and recover early. So whenever those co-workers are looking for their desperate cup of coffee on the second day of a 3-day conference, that's when you come along shining full of energy. And whenever it's physical, it's mental as well, because the two are interrelated. Just like the hardware and the software of a device, both must be good and well synchronized in order for the device to function properly, just the same way a person operates at the best when the mind and the body are in good condition. And here's the last one. This one is quite interesting. And the next stop is concealing emotions. Let me give you an example. Whenever you're in front of an audience of 100 people, no matter how experienced you are, there is still some tension, some certain amount of nervousness in you. With martial arts, you learn not to show, to conceal this nervousness and to look confident. And let me tell you how. An experienced martial artist in a fight can read your intentions. How you're going to strike, when you're going to strike, and even where you're going to strike. It is all evident from a person's face expressions, nervous movements, body posture, backswings, and body language overall. So it is essentially important in martial arts to be able to conceal your emotions and not give yourself away. And please pay attention, I mean to be able to conceal emotions and not do it all the time. So the claim that people, especially men, shouldn't hide their emotions because they'll explode from within does not apply here. It's an ability only. It doesn't define you. How you choose to use it, that's what defines you. Because in the end, the ability to conceal emotions comes in handy at a number of occasions. Job interview, talking to your boss, hosting a meeting, proposing marriage, public speaking, anything, you name it. You'll be amazed at how things you learn come in handy in areas you expect the least. What do you do outside of work? Painting, hiking, singing, dancing, yoga, anything. How can those things and what aspects of those things can be useful in your professional life, in your career, or in your startup? Because they can be. Just look at them from broader and multiple perspectives and find ways to make what you learn serve you. Thanks for being with me.